We were living under an very existential threat, as we all were, and this is a story about a man who has limited time, and his need to reconnect with his daughter is palpable, and he can't misstep, and we don't know if he's going to make it or not, and we're rooting for him. It helped to have Darren Aronofsky direct it also too.
Yeah. First of all, this performance is outstanding. I don't even know what to say. How the hell do you prepare for something like this?
I pay close attention to the script, rehearse as we did for 3 weeks, be patient with the 4-hour makeup, rehearse. I worked with I consulted with the Obesity Action Coalition, and a group online with tens of thousands of members who support those who live with obesity, to glean a personal understanding about what it is to live in that body, what it is to have the relationships that surround the families and friends of people who do live as such, and just pay attention to what's on the page, which Sam's screenplay gave us such generous source material, given that he's the playwright, and also the screenwrite adaptation is by him too, and was always present for us on the day, also in rehearsals. It was strangely an experience that, I mean, it's a COVID time movie, and
yeah,
you know, for all of the challenges we all know about it, we don't need to talk about it, but somehow it brought us closer together in a way that surprised me. We were much more careful to take that much more care of one another, and that's not just for the obvious reasons, but also because we were living under an very existential threat, as we all were, and this is a story about a man who has limited time, and his need to reconnect with his daughter is palpable, and he can't misstep, and we don't know if he's going to make it or not, and we're rooting for him. It helped to have Darren Aronofsky direct it also too.
Yeah.
People are amazing.
What a wonderful film this is, guys. What a wonderful, I'm so moved by it. I want to start with you. This is a challenging role. How do you approach someone like this who is, we don't really know what her intentions are with him?
Mm-hmm.
How did you go about this?
I mean, it was definitely like, upon first reading it, she's tough to figure out, and she's so unlikable on paper. So I guess like the challenge is just to kind of find the humanity in her and see it, see her anger and her rage coming from like a real place of pain, and just trying to justify it as much as possible, which is hard sometimes. But it was a really fun challenge.
Sam, this is a marvelous story. This is
Thank
a marvelous script. Why Charlie? What was it? Why did you want to tell his story and make all these so flawed but beautiful characters?
I mean, I started writing it about 13 years ago. There's a lot of points of personal connection for me. I mean, Charlie lives in my hometown. I was a gay kid there. I attended a fundamentalist Christian school, much like the one that Ty Simpson's character attends. I was outed from that school and then fell into depression and self-medicated with food for a number of years. And so when I started writing this play, I mean, I had been writing plays for a long time, but this was really the first time that I put a lot of personal stuff on the line. And, when I first started writing it, I said, maybe this is just for me. I mean, maybe this just wants to live on my hard drive and sort of like an act of purgation or therapy or something. Yeah. And so it took me a while to actually kind of take it out and show it to people, which I did with no small amount of anxiety. So it was very vulnerable to share it in this way with the world, but I could not, I mean, everything Brendan said about like the generosity on set and like how much we all liked each other and took care of each other. I felt like I was giving my heart to Brendan for safekeeping, and you kept it so beautifully safe.
with you, what an incredible character. I mean, she's so empathetic and caring. What in your life prepared you for playing this girl?
She is empathetic and caring, but she also has moments where she's a little bit sharp and nasty too. So getting to play those different qualities, contrasting qualities, was a real pleasure. Getting to calibrate something like that, I think it's always a joy when you get to play a supporting character that has so much of their own stuff going on that they could possibly have their own separate movie, you know, and yeah, it was just about mining the script for different clues and just being open with each other during filming.
Well, I think that's what made it really interesting, is like you both said, usually when you see a film, it's pretty much there's a good character and there's a bad character. There's not any of that here. What was it like working with Darren and kind of finding the layers, not just the performance but the script and working with that? Let's start with you again.
I mean, I think just upon the first sitting down with Darren for our first session, just kind of going through scene by scene and breaking the character down, I felt like I was in such good hands, and all throughout the rehearsal process, really just having that time to really block everything and get so comfortable with the dialogue and so comfortable with just the character and just every last detail. It just made it so easy that once we stepped on set and started filming, it was we could really just play around.
Yeah, we had 3 weeks of rehearsal prior to filming, which is very unusual for a film. You usually never rehearse for films, and so it was a really great time for us to get to work on our characters and explore.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, it's based on a play. Was the approach in any way like doing theater? Did you have that extra time to just, no, we can work on these scenes and we can dig into them?
Yes, the space that we rehearsed in, there was tape on the ground that was the exact dimensions of the stage that we were shooting on. And we could not walk over the tape because we would be walking through a wall. So Darren would make us walk through the actual opening in the tape and open up the door and imagine that there was one. We had to walk around imaginary furniture. It was exactly like a theater rehearsal, I found.
Nice.
Yeah.
To come back with you, what do you take from her? What do you take after it's all said and done? What do you take from this?
I mean, I think about that final scene, because up until we filmed that, really, I don't think there were still parts of her that I didn't really understand. And then after we filmed that final one, and it just felt like such a release for her, I just got the sense that she's gonna be okay. And I think that there's a lot of similarities between her and Charlie. They just don't use them in the same ways. And I think she really is capable of caring and has a huge heart. And I think once we filmed that final scene, I truly felt that. And it was such a nice moment because it was oh, she is gonna be okay. She is good. She's got this.
Well, we got to wrap, unfortunately, but you guys are amazing. I'm so touched right now seeing your reaction, just talking about this character, just talking about the story. It's beautiful. It's goddamn beautiful. So I just gotta say, how much have you taken with it? How much are you carrying?
Oh, it's always going to be with me. I mean, I feel like a more tolerant, more accepting person after having had made this film. And you would hope in your career and your professional life that something like that could come along all the time, but it doesn't. And so I was very lucky indeed to be a part of this.
You were.
Yes, I know.
But you were also. It is one of the best performances I've seen in a long time.
You're very kind. Thank you.
It's true.
Thank you.
How do you think people will react to this? How are you hoping people react to this?
I think we live in very cynical times. And I made a decision early on in my career that I didn't want to be a cynical writer. Even though cynicism is fashionable and
it's too easy.
Very easy and simplistic, and narrow-minded, in my opinion. But I also didn't want to deliver platitudes or easy joy or easy
Sentimentalism or,
exactly.
you know.
Yeah. And so I hope that people come out of this feeling that this is a story about hard-won hope, and see that this is a matrix of 5 different people who are in flawed ways and beautiful ways trying to save each other. That's what it's about.
I agree.
That's excellent. We're gonna wrap, guys. This is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, thank you.